It's fall. And for every business owner and advertiser, the same kind of questions start popping up. Should I pause until stuff picks up again? Well, it might sound logical to you. Your leads are slower, the budgets are shrinking, the performance is slightly worse than it was a couple of months ago. But there's no such thing as a simple answer in marketing. Here's my take on that. Pausing your ads usually costs you more in the long run. Hi, my name is Darian, I'm CEO of Mission Driven, and today we're going to talk a little bit about when it makes sense to pause your ads and when it's actually smarter to keep them running. Let's start with why this usually happens. Most pauses fall into three buckets. First is a seasonal slump. Retailers can see the drip in the sales after the holidays. Home service businesses slow down when the weather changes. Contractors pause during the winter. They think, nobody's really buying, so why should I waste my money on ads? Second is the performance frustration. Campaigns usually around this time of the year can show higher costs or lower conversions, and the instinct of everybody is let's just pause for a bit until we figure this stuff out. Third one is budgetary pressures. Maybe your cash flow is a bit lighter than it was. Payments are delayed, there's some unexpected expenses, repairs, maintenance, something else is on the horizon, and ads usually look like the easiest switch to flip it off. Marketing is pretty much always the first victim of cuts and savings. But in reality, all of these are actually emotional decisions disguised as rational thinking. It feels safe, but behind the scenes, the pause you're making can actually hurt you in the long run. There's a high potential that it will bring your advertising platform, whether it's Google, Meta, or anything else, back to square one. When you pause your ads, several invisible costs kick right in. Ad platforms like Meta and Google work on a momentum. They learn who your ideal audience is through constant feedback. Somebody scrolls, somebody clicks, somebody buys, somebody just doesn't interact with your ad at all. If you stop feeding the platform's data for a couple of weeks, they will forget. When you restart, it's like teaching the machine from scratch, like it never had any data. For example, last year, a home improvement client paused their ads for 6 weeks during the lower season. Their cost per lead on reactivation went from $24 to $39. We improved the creative, we got better targeting, but the algorithm was simply cold. Your remarketing list and your custom audience list can expire if you don't refresh them with the new data every once in a while. If you don't do this refresh, you're losing the access to your warmest buyers. Think of it as stop calling your best buyers, turning off your phone, turning it back on 3 months later, only to find out everybody changed their number because you never called. You can also lose a portion of your market share. While you're gone, your competitors are actually bidding on the same market for the same keywords, for the same creatives, and they're getting their traffic at a discount. Ad inventory is still there, which for smart advertisers can also mean that your CPMs are getting lower. So your competitors are effectively buying off what should be yours. And essentially, there is a cost to re-entering. When you restart your ads, it usually takes anywhere between 3 to 6 months, sometimes even longer, to get the algorithm back to a good side. Essentially, you need to retrain them. And while you're retraining the algorithm, you're paying more for your clicks, your click-through rate is lower, and very likely your conversions are not coming in. Any historical advantage you might have had with your data has disappeared. Let's not forget the biggest issue of them all. Algorithms change. So you might end up spending more time learning how to do ads from scratch because there's some big update that you were not aware of, and you don't have any historical data to serve as a backup. So instead of pulling the plug, here's how to adapt. Strategy number 1, lower your budget but not your presence. Cut down a little bit, maybe 30 to even 50% of your budget, but keep the lights on. Focus your spend on proven campaigns, winning ad sets, your best creatives. Get that small amount of data to feed the algorithm. Keep it warm over the season. And while you're updating the strategies, your audience are still engaging. Strategy 2, shift from broad to precision targeting. Run remarketing campaigns to the site visitors or past leads. Use customer lists from your CRM or newsletters. Use only high intent keywords, people who are looking for solutions and not just browsing around. Use your best performing creatives, clear messaging angles, and proven concepts. Strategy 3, adjust your ad schedule. If you're normally running your ads 24/7, look around your conversion peak times and check your analytics to get that data. Then adjust your scheduling to only fire around those times, or maybe even only on the work days. You can also pause overnight or during low activity days. You will spend less, but you still maintain the consistency and the presence. Strategy 4, update your seasonal messaging. Make sure that your creative fits the fall, winter, or any low season mindset. For example, you can ask your audience to book early for spring, lock in the rates, offer some offset off-season maintenance discounts. Ask your audience to essentially plan ahead and grow with you. When competitors go dark, even a small but relevant presence means a lot. Sometimes you just need to pause, and let's run through some of those situations. If you are a truly seasonal business, let's say seasonal resort, snow removal company in July. Okay, fair. There's virtually no offer to promote, or is there? If your website and tracking is off, if your forms don't submit, if your landing pages are slow, fix that first. Don't waste your ad spend on bad clicks. If you are in some kind of major repositioning, let's say you're rebranding, you're changing your pricing models, you're shifting your audience segments, it might make sense to pause a little bit temporarily while you rebuild that funnel. And if your ads are constantly under review, if you're getting flagged by some new policies such as political advertising in the EU or housing policy updates in the US, yeah, pause your ads, review your messaging, make sure that you are compliant with all the advertising policies. If you're having a cash emergency, or if running the ads really impacts your bottom line, pause. But do set up a date for relaunching back when things are normal so you don't lose the presence you already built. Even in all of these cases, if you can maintain some kind of a presence, a low budget remarketing, brand awareness campaign brings out that small drip of data into the algorithm that keeps it warm, keeps it learning, keeps it understanding what works best for you. Coming back after a long pause, it's like going back to a gym after 6 months. You can't lift your PR back. You need to rebuild your muscle. And with ads, that means for a little while, you're going to have low click-through rates, high cost per clicks, and definitely a couple of weeks of learning before everything smooths over again. So to wrap it up, don't disappear in slow months unless you have to. But if you have to, scale down smart. Small budget, sharp targeting, shorter schedule, stay visible. Even the minimal presence keep your data alive and your brand is in the minds of your customers. Use your low season strategically. Test some new creatives, clean up your tracking, plan your funnel. While everybody else is disappearing, you're still in front of your market. You're building recognition, you're collecting the data, and you're buying traffic essentially at a discount. Stay consistent, stay visible, and always remember pausing can cost more than maintenance. If this video was useful to you, leave a like, subscribe, comment, let us know what your experiences of low season are, and see you next time.